Okay, so I'm going to demo how we're going to do our stencils. And I have here my 3 cans of paint, which I've opened and stirred very thoroughly with the stir sticks. And then I'm going to use these plastic spoons to spoon a little, like maybe 1 spoonful of paint onto this tray. So a spoonful of blue, spoonful of red, and a spoonful of yellow. Okay, I have my stencil brushes here and a foam stamp that we can also use, and we're going to try that too. So I'm going to bring this over. Now we're doing post number 1 here, and that is the post that is got the roses on it. So I have taped a stencil using tape. I have taped the stencil to the post where I want it, and if there were any stencils that are close to it that I don't want the children to accidentally get paint into, I could cover those with tape. So I am going to make this a red rose, and you can see here I've got the tray and the stencil brushes, and I am just going to dab. So there's some paint on here, but not a ton. So just gonna dab that way. Come back over here, and I'm gonna. It's a flat brush, so you just dab up and down. The idea is not to get the paint under the stencil, so you don't want to go side to side at all. Just very gently dabbing. Just straight up and down, very gently dabbing. Okay, so now I'm done with the rose part of it, and now I'm going to mix a little bit of yellow and blue with this other brush. I'm going to take a little yellow and a little blue. We all know this makes green. I hope it makes green. It's really yucky green. I may have to go get a can of green paint, because that is not a nice green at all. It's more like gray. Okay. Well, anyway, we're going to go ahead and use it for this demonstration. So I come back over to my stencil, and now I can do the same thing over here. Just dab away, dab straight up and down. So now I'm done with the stencil, and I can very gently pick it up without smearing the paint. So now I have my stencil. Okay, so I will get a can of green paint, but there's the idea. And now I'm going to try and do a stamped one. So I've got my stamp here. This one's a sun. And I'm going to use the same tray. And I'm going to spread the yellow out a little bit so I can stamp just kind of a thin layer so that it doesn't get all goopy, but there's enough on there. So I'm going to put the yellow stamp in there. I didn't quite get it all, so you know, I can maybe even paint it onto the stamp. Alright, so let's go try and stamp it. Just put it down, kind of press it down. And pick it up. Alright, so that was mostly good, but I'm going to clean it up with a brush. So I'm going to take like a thin little regular brush and try to clean it up a little bit so it really looks like what I was trying to stamp. Alright, so there's my sun. I try to stick with the theme, but you know, some things are pretty versatile, like a sun. All the plants need sun. Okay. And the last technique we're going to talk about is if you wanted to use just for an example, if you wanted to use a stencil but it had a lot of detail, I'm going to do a simple one, but you could have the kids trace the shape with a pencil and then paint it with a standard paintbrush and the same paints from the can, and that would work also if they felt like they could do that. Okay, and always put a piece of tape or something on the post to indicate what day it was done so that no one else tries to touch it or move it that day and it doesn't get smeared. Great, thank you.